Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a jam-packed, double-stuffed show. We got so much stuff going on, and I can't even begin to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
It's me, Lady Ada, here at the Adafruit factory, where we do all the design, electronics, manufacturing, testing, shipping, documentation, and the videoing of all the stuff that you love to use for your Halloween cosplay or other projects, or maybe just this Wednesday. We got our 1 hour long show tonight from 8 o'clock till 9. Every week, Wednesday night, that's what we do here at Ask Engineer. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, and he's going to tell you all about what's on tonight's jam-packed show.
Yeah, this is a double show because last week was Adabox unboxing. This week we're catching up for the last couple of weeks, and it just happened to be a giant week of news and more. So let's kick it off. This week the code is barometric. You'll figure out why later. That's 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. on everything that's in stock except for Adabox and gift certificates, of course. Supports us, an open source hardware company here in New York City. Thank you so much, everybody. We are loan free, venture capital free, and the only way we're going to keep the lights on is if you buy something, but you know, you can save 10% off, so please do it. Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their projects. Lady Ada will talk about all the cool projects and more that was on the show and tell. Pack the mailbag, stop by, read your letters to us. Time travel, look back and forward into the world of makers, artists, and engineers and what they're up to. Jobs board is back, so every week we're going to be talking about some jobs at the Adafruit Jobs Board, jobs.adafruit.com. Post your skills. Also, post up that job that you've been looking to fill for a while. In New York City, some factory footage here from Adafruit. 3D printing. On page we have some videos and some sped up 3D prints. Got some new products. We got a bunch of top secret. Into your questions, and we're going to do that over on Discord. Adafruit.it/Discord. We're going to give something away at the end of the show. All that and more on, you guessed it,
Dun dun dun!
Ask an Engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pay some bills first. Remember, the code is barometric.
Barometric.
And we have free stuff. There's a couple different tiers.
Yes.
Lady Ada.
I'd love to tell you all about it. $99 or more, you get a free Perm Proto half-size breadboard. It's shaped just like a half-size solderless breadboard, but you can solder to it. Great for taking your projects and making them permanent. That's the Perma and Perm Proto. $199 or more, you get a free UPS ground shipping in the continental USA. This is good quality, trackable shipping. It'll show up. It's insured. It comes in a brown truck, just like that one, except it's a lot bigger. $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Express board, our all-in-one development board that does code.org, CS Discoveries, CircuitPython. It can do Arduino. It can do MakeCode. It's kind of everything, LED sensors. Great for projects. We're seeing a lot of people doing their Halloween costume and cosplay projects using the Circuit Playground Express because it does so much built in. All that, and every tier you get whatever you got in the previous tier, so there's more incentive to pack stuff into your cart before you check out.
Okay. 2 types of shipping. UPS is trackable. That is the one we recommend in the continental US postal. That one will get there. It'll be a little bit slower. And DHL, that's international, customs, prepaid, and more. It sails right through. That's for international folks. Same-day delivery in New York City. If you're in Manhattan before 11 a.m. and you're checking out on our site, you'll be able to see if you can do same day, and it'll show up immediately. Lady Ada, show and tell people around the world, show and share their projects with us in the world every single week. Our favorite half an hour, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's about 7:50. Lady Ada, who's on the show and tell this week?
We had a jam-packed show, like a dozen people on the show, starting off with JP. He's got an exciting show tomorrow. So tune in for some artistic CircuitPython code. But he made a little project to show off. He just plugged in our thermal feather wing onto a Halloween and turned into a thermal camera. And he just said it worked really great. And he's going to be taking it to Supercon. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But that event is coming up and he'll be there. Aaron made a t-shirt with a vinyl Cricut cutter. And added a Circuit Playground Express that sparkles when you jump. It's a simple project, but a really good first project for someone, especially if you're crafting a t-shirt. You can add some Circuit Playground love, and that guide will be live soon. Known Pedro showed off this week's 3D printing project, which we'll also show the video for. It's a pumpkin case for the Halloween that has spikes, and you can attach it onto your foam or organic pumpkin to add a little eyeball, and they showed how to decorate your pumpkin as well. Dan has finished up his assistive technology box for his friend. That's actually what started his journey into CircuitPython, because you can just edit a file on the disk drive. It makes it really easy for the person he's making the assistive tech for to modify and update the tech as they need it, right? That's the whole point, is make it so that they can use the technology and update technology, and they're not dependent on Dan to come over and tweak it whenever they need to. And he says he's using the M4 processor, which makes all this possible, and the HID support that he added. And then Scott came by with an Apple IIc, and apparently he didn't go to school with one like some of us did, so he doesn't remember playing Math Man or Math Magic or whatever it was. And also you had Oregon Trail, and there was this lake with an osprey. I don't remember anything else about it, but I just remember this osprey would come and get you in this lake. Cool old technology. You can open up the port and plug in cards. So kind of interesting old tech. Really well designed for hackability. Blitz made a Fusion 360 pumpkin, really adorable pumpkin with this kind of swirly top and the eyes, and inside is a Gem M0 with some PWM LEDs to make the lights on the eyeballs go back and forth. Eduardo came by with a wearable Circuit Playground shirt. He says, what if you have somebody ask you an uncomfortable question or something you have to think about before you answer? Well, you press a button and it would make a little like buffering animation, like when you go to a website and it has a little circle that goes to lets you know to wait. Yeah. And sometimes you have GIFs and they just
whatever makers are making on the show and tell is the episodes of Black Mirror tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. So he says that way you can like gain a little bit of time. You need like 15 seconds to think of an answer to this question. So he made it with a Neopixel and the alligator clips, but you can also make it with just the Circuit Playground Express. A great simple project that's a wearable project and easy to put together. Melissa hit it out of the park with his hackulator. It's a hacked calculator with a Raspberry. It's a TI like 85 or 83, and it had a Pi 0 in it, and it had like a Pi TFT and a power boost and like an analog digital converter. It has all the ports, and it's like a full Raspberry Pi calculator, and it can emulate a TI calculator, or you can of course have it do whatever you want, but it has a full keyboard basically on it.
Or like play movies or get on the internet,
yeah,
or via web browser. So this is going to Supercon.
And what's ironic is, of course, the whole innards of this hackulator still costs less than the T85, which has somehow been $100 for like 30 years.
Yep.
So for $100, you're gonna get like a full computer instead of just like this crummy black and white screen. Toaster is working on the costume update, so this is another update, and this time they've got some graphics to show how they're going to attach the pieces to their body. So got a couple more weeks to get that costume going. Sophie made a Thurman pumpkin, and started with a real pumpkin and then realized that real pumpkins get moldy. So it's a foam pumpkin now. It has Neopixels, and as you move your hand above the pumpkin, it makes notes, and the LEDs change colors. And this is her first project in CircuitPython, so this was a big deal for her. But she got it working, so this is very great news to hear. And then Pierre built an analog diffusing thermal camera using a 8x8 Neopixel square that we sell, and then made a diffusing plexiglass box for it, so it has this kind of smoothing effect. It's basically a bicubic interpolation, but using just like distance, using space instead of doing the math for it. So it looks really cool, very like smooth, and there's like a center dot for precisely detecting the center. For average temperature calculation, there's like a laser diode, so it's a really nice thermal camera. Really good looking enclosure as well, and very nicely built with the feather system. And that's what we had for Show and Tell. Okay, all participants on the Show and Tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com and we will send you a sticker. It's part of our Adafruit live series of shows. JP, we're playing a few of his videos, some clips from his shows tomorrow, don't forget. But here's one of them. This was a stop motion project that he did about a week ago. Yeah.
And we also have some Terminator.
The 45 long slide with laser sighting. I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. I was told that she was here. Could I see her, please? Hasta la vista, baby. Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
And every week on JP's show, there's a Make Code Minute. We're playing the most recent one, but if you missed the week before last week, it's on YouTube, of course, as a Make Code Minute. Also, it's inside of a show.
Get to the Make Code.
Take it away. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
All right, so for the Make Code Minute today, I wanted to talk about using hue, saturation, and value to control Neopixels on your Circuit Playground Express inside of Make Code. You'll see that I have the Neopixels changing colors, all the colors of the rainbow. They're kind of running through the spectrum. And the way I'm doing this is actually pretty simple. So if you look here at the Make Code, what I have going on is I've set up a variable called the hue variable. And when I run my forever loop, I essentially iterate through the numbers 0 through 255. And then for each iteration of that number changing, it's going to increase that value by 1 or change it by 1. Then it's going to pause for 60 milliseconds. And then it's going to set all the pixels to this hue value. So at the start, it's going to be a 0, working its way up through to 255. And the reason this is, I think, notable or interesting is that trying to iterate through colors is actually somewhat tricky in code if you're using red, green, blue. So here we have a typical red, green, blue color wheel, and you'll see that red is described as 255 on red, 0 on green, and 0 on blue. If I come over to this greenish yellow, I've got 140 on red, 255 on green, and 0 on blue. So as you can imagine, the code to keep track of this is either really complicated or you'll need a big table of colors to look at. And to interpolate or sort of mix from color to color is really tricky. So if you look instead at the image on the other side of the screen here, this is a hue, saturation, and value color wheel that goes from the 0 position through to 360 degrees or 359 degrees. And at each degree of this circle, the color is mixed from red to yellow to green to cyan to blue to purple to magenta and back to red, which is really convenient in code because that means that we just have this one single value to shift through. So if you look inside of the light category, normally you're presented with red, green, blue, but if we keep scrolling down, we get this hue, saturation, and value. So that is how you can adjust colors on the Circuit Playground Express in Make Code using just the hue value.
Okay, packed by Mailbag, let's stop by. There's the emails and tweets and more that we read to the entire company every week here at Adafruit called State of the Fruit, but we also read them to you. This is the Mailbag. There's the photo. There's a picture of the kid. And here's what they sent in. Achievement unlocked by Dark and Solder thanks to the Adafruit audio kit. Thanks from Andrew. Thanks, Andrew.
Nice.
Okay, a little bit of reminder at the end of the show. We answer all the questions, but you can be in there now helping out each other out. Adafruit.it/Discord. Go there now. Okay, there is so much going on in the world of CircuitPython. It's expanding faster than the speed of light. And
it's like a snake that's just eating itself and just getting longer.
The universe can go faster than the speed of light because it's a universe, and that's what's happening in CircuitPython. It's going fast. Yes, because that's how it works. The universe can move faster than the speed of light because it can expand faster because it's not light. The stuff inside can't. Inside's a weird term, though. Anyways.
Okay, I think I got it.
Super weird.
Anyways,
Code plus community.
Community.
So here we had a big release. This is CircuitPython for Alpha 2. This is for the folks who are like the NRF52 Bluetooth Low Energy chip, and also display support and translated messages. But this is probably mostly for the folks who like the NRF52.
The NRF52, but there's also display I/O for the Halloween. So there's a couple things going on here. We also are doing some peripheral UART updates. Yeah. But check it out. It's bleeding edge, but everything that you have in Python 3 should work in Python 4. But we're going to make a couple breaking changes, and we're going to add some more stuff. I know we're working on some USB stuff next. So we're going to switch around how USB works, which will be very cool because we'll have more USB capabilities.
There's so much going on in the world of microcontrollers and Bluetooth. I don't think we could do any other pace. Like, we have to move this fast.
Yeah,
things are getting more powerful, lower cost, and customers they want the latest and greatest.
Yep.
So we're happy with how it's going, but please test it out. we have the awesome list,
Yes.
which we're going to do another update.
We did some updates to it.
But in that, we have things like Moo.
Yeah.
We have a lot of the news, or sorry, a lot of the resources for CircuitPython. This week's made with Moo. That's our favorite, easy to use but powerful Python editor. It does Pygame 0. You can use Microbit. You can use CircuitPython, regular Python. I'm catching up from the last couple of weeks. So there's a nice Moo to go build, so you can put it on a USB drive. Some computers don't allow, especially in schools with lockdown settings.
Yeah.
They can't download an IDE.
So now you can just plug in.
So you just plug it in, and now it's there. But this is if you want to use Moo. And then Moo was used in a Girls Can Code session. Both of those stories are on madewith.moo.
Look, Moo.
We have one of our biggest CircuitPython newsletters, Python for Microcontrollers is what we call it. I made a collage.
It's a nice collage.
Yeah.
It's a lot of photos in this newsletter.
Yeah,
What's nice is this newsletter is a multifaceted.
Multimedia. It's like those old...
multimedia CDs.
It's like one of those CDs you put in and be like, I would like to learn the history of the Blinka. Anyways, this is from last week. 18 Makers talked about why CircuitPython is an excellent programming language and community and ecosystem for assistive technology. Check that out. We had the Hackaday SuperCon notes. We're sending 400 of these Halloween badges over to Hackaday SuperCon. I'm going to show a video soon of what's on it, but if you like conference badges, but you don't like putting them in the drawer because you can't ever do anything with it because it's too hard, we're sending Hallowings that have all this out of the box. It has images, you can code Python, it has a PDF of someone's book, it has all sorts of neat stuff.
Yeah.
Like right out of the box, just works. So that's going to be the badges that we send. Someone made a really neat Eurorack voltage detector, and they use CircuitPython and they use Feather. Portland Community College is teaching CircuitPython. This is some of the boards I made. Deshipu over at Hackaday.io is working on the CircuitPython badge.
Oh,
Here's the
that nice
latest
silk
one.
screen with the little the snakes. Hi.
Here's the latest
Little
one.
snakes.
Someone wrote a Python script and they used a Hermes 3000 typewriter that they like scanned in to make a Blinka using Python. I thought that was cool.
Oh, nice.
This is probably going to be one of the most known projects as the NRF with CircuitPython comes out, but this is from Arturo and it's a e-ink CircuitPython watch.
Look at that. It's nice.
This is the FPGAs in the Feather form factor.
Yeah, this is the ICE 40.
Yep.
We're going to be carrying the ICE 40 like teeny FPGA boards, but we also suggested to the I can't remember his name right now, but we said, hey, why don't you make a Feather?
Tiny FPGA.
No, the
Luke?
Luke, yeah. We said, hey, why don't you make a tiny FPGA in Feather form factor, because then you can use all of our wings. And then also could act as a Feather wing, perhaps, as a co-processor. And he's like, yeah. And then he also even added a camera connector for Raspberry Pi cameras.
So that's coming out, and I'll have CircuitPython on it. Then CircuitPython showed up at Pi South Africa. Live stream, we have a link to that, and you can watch the talk and more. And then this is from HerSpark, and this entire class was using CircuitPython to learn how to code.
Yeah, I
This
like how
is
they all
the-
have different color LEDs. That's kind of nice.
Well, yeah,
That's cool.
because it's easy to do.
It's really easy to do.
Yeah, it's finally like this stuff is actually possible. Then this
Pumpkin
is the
hacking.
Theremin
Yeah.
pumpkin.
This is
using
before the foam pumpkin,
Yeah.
you can tell.
And Sophie was on Show and Tell, so you can watch that. And then this was one of my favorite projects last week from the Show and Tell.
It's a clock.
It's a clock, but it uses CircuitPython on Raspberry Pi. That's kind of cool. Also in the newsletter, because the Maker phone, it's like Kickstarter, and I think they hit their goal. They have like, it's going to work with Arduino, it'll work with MicroPython. They go through the list. I think we did as not out yet, but even if we didn't, we'll say it. So we have a CircuitPython phone coming out, so I'm just like, I should toss this in there. Let folks know there's also one that's just specifically made. It's not out yet, don't ask soon. We had the Themin project, and then one of the big news, this is big news. I know the board name is Meow Meow, but I call it Meowie Meowie. So Meowie Meowie is now a board that uses CircuitPython.
Yeah, we just merged the pull request today, so it's an officially supported board.
Yeah.
And it's designed by this awesome Mexican hackerspace, and we have Spanish translation. So this is a really nice. This we can now have builds for CircuitPython with multiple different languages. We have Portuguese, Spanish. I think we have French and Italian.
Yeah.
And a couple others.
And so we'll see.
German.
Yeah, we'll be working with people who have boards, and we're gonna have them part of the CircuitPython world. So you'll be able to use a Feather or a Circuit Playground or a Meowie Meowie.
Meowie Meowie. I thought it was a cat. I mean, like, come on.
It's one of my favorite boards.
How are you gonna say no? And then when you put the alligator clips on, it looks like whiskers.
Yeah, so anyways, you can check the awesome list, but also this newsletter comes out every single week. Go to adafruitdaily.com and choose the Python and microcontrollers. Sign up and you just get it once a week. No spam. It's a separate website. We don't do any advertising, anything.
And it gets better and better every week. And also, some of the other newsletters are also really good.
Yeah,
but
they're all good. Okay, time travel. Look at world of hackers, artists, makers, engineers, maker companies, you name it. This is just some catch up. This is just news, that Adafruit stuff. A little bit of reminder. Adafruit's giving all employees the day off for voting. It's a paid day off. Some people are going to use it to float. Some people are taking off the whole day.
in this country, for people who are not from America, we do not get a national day to vote. It's actually a work day.
There's a concerted effort to not have people vote in our country. No, there is. Why vote? Because then it's only a small number of people. So what we said is like, well, let's give something to the team that they can do something with. It's not just in New York. There's rules for employees, but most people would be able to vote anyways. But we wanted to send a signal out. One, you're a company owner, and you can do stuff like this. And if you work at a company, send a nice polite note to the CEO and/or employee resources or HR, and just say, what would it take to make voting day a paid day off? Because not just the voting matters. It's going to the polls. It's being a poll worker. It's driving people there. It's doing volunteer work. It's helping people even before that day to making sure they're registered. Some people, they're very active, and then they're like, oh, sorry, you're off the rolls now. So anyways, we did that, and we're just trying to, if you're a maker company, don't just complain on Twitter. Do something.
Yeah.
Adafruit's Electronic Halloween, you'll see all the posts and more.
It's rocking. I mean, we've been
time.
Halloweening for a couple months, and we're still Halloweening, and we'll probably Halloween even into November.
Yeah.
So, what do we got?
And then the Hackaday Superconference is coming up November 2nd, 4th. This is hot off the press. This is the video that I just shot real quick of what's on the badges that we're sending out. So
take it away.
Yeah, take it away, Plastic Head. Okay, and since we're catching up on news, congratulations, the entire Discord community. Give yourself a round of applause. We have 8,000 of us. These are humans.
That's a lot.
And I think we're up to like 8,400 now, so we'll do another post when we're up to 9,000. We're trying to have one of the best communities online where everyone's cool.
So far, it's been
chill.
working great. It's 24-hour hackerspace. You can take your granddaughter to.
Yep.
Or your grandfather to.
Yep. This is a preview. So we have another episode of Circuit Playground coming out. And this is the intro that's also hot off the press, so I wanted to say that, show this. Musical stylings of Tom. Bruce, creative director, put this together. Colin helped with the whole thing, get it going. So here we go. So that's new intro. The next video will be coming out soon. Don't forget the code's barometric. This is our jobs board. It's back, jobs.adafruit.com.
Yes!
Yeah, so this took off more than we expected.
It's back.
It's back.
It's not better than ever. It's as good and equal to before. It's better. It's
even better than the first one.
It's fine. It's better.
So there's so many jobs. I'm just going to talk about a couple of them.
Yeah.
Go to jobs.adafruit.com. Right now, if you want to work for DigiKey, there's an application engineering technician job. If you want to be a hardware puzzle developer, there's a job. If you want to do freelance development for all sorts of electronics, that's available. Embedded engineer, intern, that's available. A support engineer at DigiKey. So that's just the first few. I think there's like 15 or so.
There's like a dozen or more jobs, and if you want to offer your skills, you can do that too.
That's right. There's already like 15 or 20 people already putting up their skills. This is what I'm good at, C++. I can do Arduino. So people are now putting CircuitPython on their resume. But it's up there right now. We don't charge for it at all. All you have to do is have an Adafruit account, and then we moderate them to make sure there's no scam or weird stuff.
Is it free?
It's free.
It's so free. All you need is an Adafruit account.
Yeah.
And it's for the maker community. So hire each other and post your skills and get hired.
Okay. We're an open source hardware company.
Indeed.
And we have 1,605 tutorials.
That's right. We broke through the 1,600 barrier. I know Nobody thought we could do it, but we did it because
it's like the sound barrier.
We just can't stop. I remember we had 1,500
Usain
guides.
Bolt of
We had 1,000 guides. 1,600 guides.
Okay,
We had a lot.
what was on the big board this week, Lady Ada?
Okay, so last week we had that Neo Trellis game. It's a 3D printed box that Pedro put together for the Neo Trellis board and a feather. And we didn't have feather last time we had Trellis.
We have a video that we'll show today.
And we'll show the video. And it's a color matching game, but of course you can do anything you want with it. You can have any sort of battery powered or USB connected trellis feather project with our new Neopixel trellis. We've got the stop motion animation guide from JP. If you've ever been interested in how to do stop motion animation, there's a lot of apps and technologies that can help you. It's not how it used to be where you would just manually do it. There's like apps that like show you the previous position, so it's much easier to put things together. We've got some Halloween monsters with Cricut, with Circuit, Playground Express, and Cricut. So there's kind of like this ghost, there's like a vampire, and there's some sort of like werewolf spider. Just little fun projects that you can build with a couple cups and servos. We've got more in CircuitPython 101. David Stell's teaching the basics of Python with an aim towards CircuitPython, so kind of teaching the stuff that's most useful for CircuitPython and hardware. So this time it's about lists, iterators, and generators. So you probably know about lists, there's a collection of objects, but what if you don't want to store an entire list in memory? You can actually dynamically generate lists with iterators and generators. Very interesting. I learned a lot. It's got some great images that kind of evoke the generator philosophy. So check that out. I learned a lot from reading that guide, and a lot of things I didn't know about lists and generators are in there. There's a crawling animatronic hand. This is nice and creepy. Using a circuit playground, it pulls some clear fishing line, and there's some little wheels on the bottom of this hand that crawls around and tries to find a dark, cool place. So it uses the temperature sensor and light sensor to determine where it wants to go to. We've got this Gemma Color Touch pendant. This is a really beautiful pendant by Aaron. Has a Neopixel ring and a Gemma. And when you touch it, using the capacitive touch, it changes design. That's kind of nice. As you saw before, the Terminator eyeball upgrade, maybe you can pick up a mask from your local Halloween or spirit store, and then you can upgrade it by adding your Halloween to it. And so this one adds a Terminator eye, so you can have a little bit robot eye that looks around while you're wearing the mask. You can still see through the other eye, of course, and it makes you look even more robotic. The Halloween case this week, we'll show the video for that from Noah and Pedro. And we've got the Cricut flippy robot. This was kind of, you actually saw, you were inspired by an Instagram video you saw of a robot that flipped, but that robot only went one direction. This one can actually turn, and you can see the cat is just...
This one is friends with a cat.
Terrified or in love, I can't tell. But it has
like
two separate arms, and so it can rotate. It can go forward and back, of course, but then by moving direction, it can flip which direction it moves. This is a cool project from David Stells. And then another one, upon my request, a feather waveform generator. We actually needed a project where we wanted to create some waveforms, and we don't have a function generator. This actually lets you turn your feather M0 or M4 into a function generator, making sine, triangle, saw, or square waves. Very handy if you're testing a filter, or if you want to just listen to some tones, or make a little synthesizer. Using the rotary encoder interface for CircuitPython made it really easy. And you have a couple helper functions. Uses the OLED for output, and you can select the frequency and select which waveform. So a little handy tool for your toolbox. You don't need a waveform generator till you need one. And when you need one, you don't want to buy one, make your own.
Rather have one and not need it than need it and not have it.
But if you have a Feather M0 or M4, you have one all the time.
Yeah. Speaking of guides, we have Aaron's video that went along with Necklace. We're going to play that right now.
Create a color-changing necklace with Circuit Playground. using the magic of capacitive touch. The touch of a finger makes the necklace change to match your outfit. See the full build tutorial on the Adafruit Learning System, and remember to subscribe for more great projects.
Okie dokie, we have some made in New York City factory footage. And here's what our picket places to fall asleep or wake up to every single night here in beautiful New York City.
The cranes, you can see the water towers. Lovely.
It looks lovely. It's a noisy city. There's always construction. Directly above our apartment, outside of our apartment, in our apartment, constantly under construction. The city never stops constructing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so 3D printing videos, we're going to do 2 because we're catching up from last week, and then we're going to do 2 sped ups. So first one is Neo Trellis, then the Halloween pumpkin, and then we've got a dog and a skull.
A skull. Okay, sit back and extrude.
Enjoy.
Hey, what's up guys? In this project we're building a color matching game using the Adafruit Neo Trellis and the Feather M0 Express. The upgraded Adafruit Neo Trellis features 16 Neopixel LEDs. The Seesaw I2C chip allows you to tile up to 32 boards. Parts used to build this project are listed in the guide linked in the description of this video. We designed and 3D printed an enclosure to house all of the components. The files are available to download and modify. You can find our CAD parts library on our GitHub repo. The Adafruit Feather M0 features CircuitPython and can be programmed via USB. It works like a USB flash drive, allowing you to quickly modify your code and take it with you. So there's no need to install software, all you need is a text editor. The Learn Guide walks you through the setup and gets you up to date with the latest libraries for CircuitPython. Be sure to check it out, links are in the description. An LED push button and toggle switch are panel mounted to the 3D printed enclosure. The Adafruit feather is secured to the bottom cover. JST PH2 cables make it easy to connect all the components. A rechargeable battery press fits into the cover and provides power to the circuit. The Neopixel PCB is installed and housed in a separate tray. This is press fitted into the enclosure and has a friction fit. The silicone button elastomer is placed on top and secured in place with the snap fit cover. To build this project and learn how to get started, head on over to the Adafruit Learning site. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe for more DIY projects from Adafruit. Hey, what's up guys? In this project we're tricking out a pumpkin with an Adafruit Halloween. Our 3D printed case for the Halloween makes for a perfect last-minute Halloween project. And with this update, we added spikes so you can stick it onto almost any pumpkin. Our newly 3D printed case accommodates for a bigger battery and a plastic convex lens. Check the links below to get all the parts to build this project. The 3D files are free to download and available to remix. We'll use hardware screws to securely attach the spikes to the enclosure. These add-on spikes allow you to tack it in place. A rechargeable LiPo battery fits in between the PCB and snap fits into the case. This plastic convex lens magnifies the display and is held in place with the top cover. The case snap fits and locks without having to use any additional hardware screws. The animated eyeball comes pre-programmed with a few different themes so you can customize it to fit your project. For a mess-free project, we used a foam-based pumpkin that you can use every year. Use a knife to carefully cut out the top and reuse as the lid. To make a hole for the eye, we used an impact drill with a 1/3/8 inch spade bit. Place the Halloween inside and firmly press to tack it into place. So how are you making your pumpkins this year? Share your projects with us and use hashtag #ElectronicHalloween. We hope you have a safe and happy Halloween this year. Don't forget to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
And here are two spit ups. Okie dokie, and no Pedro on 3D Hangouts every single Wednesday. Tune in. So Adabox news and updates. You should probably subscribe now. The subscriptions are open again. Adabox 10 will be shipping pretty soon.
Yep.
I have a clue, because we never say what it is before it's shipping. Some people try to figure it out, try to get our secrets. We're always after your Lucky Charms. But here's a clue. That's it. That's all you get. But sign up. Okay. Lady Ada, it's almost time.
Yes.
But before it's time, I have to remind everyone. The code's barometric.
Yeah.
You'll find out more why soon. But we have a massive amount of products, so ready?
Yes.
Deep breath, here we go.
New, 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 new.
All right, first up.
All right. We got a lot of news. Okay, this is actually an updated product. It's not like a totally new news. You're like, what's different here? This is the RGB matrix hat for Raspberry Pi. So what's different? Well, it now supports 64 by 64 matrices because we've added an E pin. There's an address E pin. And when we first made this hat, we didn't know that such a thing existed. And then we got some 64 by 64 panels. And we're like, oh, we should update it. So we did. And so if you look on the PCB, there is now a little thing that says pin E. And it connects to pin, I think, 26. And then if you use our tutorial, you'll be able to use it with all the old kind of displays as well as 64 by 64 pixel displays. So even better.
Okay, next up.
We've got this round thing. What is this? Is it like a happy pocket? Yes, it's a happy pocket for your electronics. It's a round, kind of like a zipper just holder. We actually don't know what this was for originally. But it's actually like perfectly sized for a Circuit Playground Express. So you want to go to the overhead?
I think they made it for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of perfect. You can put your Circuit Playground on one side. And then what's nice is over here, there's a little like pocket. And, you can have your headers and your batteries and your cables. And then you zip it up and it's nice and safe. It only comes in Adafruit Black right now, but if people really like these, we'll get them in other colors.
Okay, next up.
We got this Molex Pico Blade connector. This is the same connector used on our Hallowings for the speaker. It's nice because it's not the same as a Jace Teats. It's a little skinnier and smaller, but it still works pretty well. It fits in quite nicely. And we have this cable now, so we have the speakers attached to this, but maybe you want to connect your own speaker to the Hallowing. These cables are low cost and easy to use. They're polarized, and as you can see, one color is red, one's black. That's pretty much it. Molex Pico Blade, a standard connector, which is very small. All right, so we got this. We've actually had weatherproof enclosures about this size, but now we have one with glands. Yes, those two things sticking out are called cable glands, and they allow you to create a like an airtight or watertight enclosure. So the enclosure itself has a gasket, but now you can have gaskets for cables. So it's just showing it here. You can fit a Raspberry Pi Zero in it, or a Feather, or a Metro. It doesn't fit like a full-sized Raspberry Pi, just so I know people are going to ask. It's not that big, but it's good for small portable projects. So I thought I'd just show how the cable gland works over here. So you've got your weatherproof setup, and maybe you've got your Feather. You get your Feather Huzzah inside, and it's wireless. It's got battery power, and then you have a sensor on the outside, or a cable for recharging it. You put the cable through this gland, and then you see there's a little O-ring here with like these little fingers. And when you attach this nut on, it makes all the fingers hold the O-ring tight against the cable. So even if the cable is a little bit lumpy, it'll still give you a nice connection that's watertight, so you don't have to worry about water ingress through there. And if you don't need water tightness, of course, it's also just great for just cables coming through anyways. So either way, you get two cable glands, and of course you can drill more holes, add more glands, but two cables is a pretty good setup, so you can use it for antenna, for power, for solar, whatever. Good for outdoor projects, and also comes with nice mounting flanges. So it's got flanges and glands. This AA battery holder is pretty cool. We got a sample of this and we're like, well, we're not exactly sure exactly what it would be good for, but it's kind of neat because it basically, as you see here, it has this like metal knife switch built into it. So it has an on-off switch, but it's a very like tactile mechanical switch. And so we think that this might be good for like education, or maybe for using these with like squishy circuits or something where you want kids to really understand, like, okay, here's the switch, and when you open and close the circuit, current can flow or not flow, and then you get this light up LED or not. So I just have it here, but it's basically your standard AA battery holder. and then yeah, you just hold it down, and now it's lit, and then you release it. So there's a little slot. It slots into the spring to make contact. I don't know. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, also good for prototyping if you're doing something where you just want to have you don't want to do this with turn it on or off or do anything on software. You just want to have on and off really fast.
It is also a nice big switch. So if you want a big on-off switch for your battery holder, this is chunky.
Okay.
We also have another set of headphones. So we have a headset that we've had in the store for a while. This one's interesting. So here, most headsets are like quote-unquote Apple style, where they have a middle button and then an up button and a down button. And this one is a little bit different. Can you go back to that one, too? Yeah. So this is the big deal here. So there's that little phone button. So it's still a pause button, so you can like play pause. But instead of up and down buttons, there's a potentiometer inside of it. There's a slide potentiometer. So that's not a mechanical button above it. That's actually a slide. So if you're using, you want to use headphones with something that you can't adjust the volume easily, because it doesn't have a potentiometer built into it. This is just a cheap hack. You plug it in and the potentiometer is built into it. Really old headsets used to have like a little knob.
Human ears like that better because you're not just like pressing the wrong button. Like, oop, what? Click,
too loud, too quiet.
Down.
This is like very tactile. It's easy, and of course it works with everything. And it's got the comfy earbud style earbuds. I'm not going to show this on the overhead because these photos are way better. But yeah, it basically has the pause button, but also an analog potentiometer. So I think very handy. And it's got like the standard TRS for Apple and Android devices. So if you don't want buttons, use this instead. We've got this book, Grace Hopper, Queen of Computer Code. This is like a lovely illustrated book about Grace Hopper's famous Navy. Don't remember her title, but the story of her life. How did she become this famous programmer? How did she join the Navy, and how did she kind of like bring programming to the military and to the masses? So these are some beautiful illustrated images of this, very famous pioneer in technology. There's the Grace Hopper Conference that you see every year for women in technology. This book is great for a young person who maybe wants some inspiration for. Her interviews are awesome. After you read this book, have them look on YouTube to see some of her interviews. They're just hilarious. She's very plain spoken, but very, very smart. We also have the Inky Fat. This is we've had the red, black, white, and yellow, black, white versions of this e-ink display. Now we have just the plain black and white display. It's a 2.13-inch display. It shows a little bit of grayscale, black and white. Easy to use, comes with Python library for Raspberry Pi. I have a very quick demo on the overhead I can show of it flipping between the Adafruit, and then it's like a hello badge. So you can see it's much faster than the red, black, and white. It only takes about 2 seconds to flip between images. It doesn't take, it takes like 15 to 20 seconds on the red, black, and white ones. And what's nice, of course, is you unplug it and the image stays. It's e-paper. Wow, amazing. So great for low power use or for outdoor use. You got two ball bearings. These are used for robots usually as like a third caster wheel. So we have one that's a 20 millimeter tall. This one fits perfectly with our purple robot as seen here. And we also have a shorter one, it's about 16 millimeters tall. Both are great bearing wheels. One's just a little bit smaller than the other, so depending on what you need, I'll just show them on the overhead in comparison really fast and move on. So this is the smaller one and this is the bigger one. So you can see the size comparison here. And in the product pages, we have the distance between the holes. So if I don't remember exactly what it is, but depending on how big your robot is, if it's smaller, you can use a small one. And it's also like, 4 or 5 millimeters shorter as well. So pick whichever one works best. They're about the same price and they work almost similarly. You just bolt it on to whatever you want. It doesn't come with hardware. Use any M3 or 440 screws to attach. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. This is a 400 milliamp hour battery, and you can see it has a shorty cable. And why has it got this shorty cable? Why is it the special size? Well, it's specifically designed to fit inside of feather sandwiches. So the battery is the right thickness and width, so it fits right in between the feather headers on your favorite feather, and the little cable just curves around, plugs right in. You see not a lot sticking out there, and then put an OLED or some other feathering on top, and now you got your portable feather package with built-in battery charging and a battery that's tucked in the middle too. So
feather sandwiches.
Feather sandwiches.
Okay, next up.
Ooh, we got this one in the store real fast. Adabox 9 So if you did not subscribe to Adabox, or maybe you did and you're like, I want another one, you can...
This is a good Halloween present for someone, by the way.
This is great
pick
for
up Adabox 9. It's like, here you go, happy Halloween.
It is Halloween themed. Of course, it's good year round, but, you know, if you get Halloween, so it comes with the Halloween, the lens, Neopixel strip, speaker, lanyard, servo PIR sensor, LEDs, with little mounting thingies, and, of course, that 400 milliamp hour battery and some other cables and stuff.
Yeah.
You've got like a dozen projects you can build with it, from the very easy to the more complex. It comes with the eyeball code already on it, so you can just use that.
You get this.
You get this, everyone, eyeball.
Out of the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pick that up, and we'll have Adabox 8, which we've skipped. We'll have that in very soon. We kind of rushed this one through because we thought we wanted people would want it for Halloween. And then the star of the show is the BMP 388. So you probably used the BMP 085, 180, or 280, and now you're like, wait, there's a 3? Yes, there's a third generation barometric pressure sensor, even more precise. I mean, this one, they're actually saying this is a great altimeter for drones. That's kind of what they're kind of aiming it for. But of course, it's perfect as an altimeter or barometric pressure sensor. I think it's got 8 Pascal relative precision, which means it can do about 1/2 meter of precision. I mean, it's the noise level is at 0.1 meter, but it can keep steady at about 1/2 meter. So yeah, great for altitude projects or drone projects, quadcopters, anything where you want to keep steady above ground. But also, of course, great for temperature sensing. It's got I think 0.5 degrees centigrade temperature sensor accuracy, and of course barometric pressure for weather measurements.
Okay, let's do products. We got through it. The code's barometric, but you ready for a recap, Lady Ada?
Yeah, we're gonna speed through this.
Okay.
New. Updated Raspberry Pi hat now can control 64 by 64 RGB pixels with an added E address pin, otherwise identical. We've got this beautiful round zipper case, great for circuit playgrounds or other round devices like your Flora, a little pocket as well. We've got the Molex Pico Blade 2-pin connector. You can get to your Halloween speaker output or anything else with a 2-pin Pico Blade. A weatherproof enclosure now comes with mounting flanges and 2 cable glands. Can fit a Raspberry Pi Zero, a Feather, a Metro, great for small projects that you want to keep weatherproof. This AA battery holder has a little flicky switch on it. You can turn things on or off with the flick of this slide switch, knife switch. Very tactile. We've got a TRS headset with microphone, 2 speakers left and right, and it has an analog potentiometer built into it. So if you have something that doesn't have audio output adjustment, you can adjust it on the headset. Grace Hopper, Queen of Computer Code. This lovely book is a great gift for a young computer engineer to be inspired by Grace Hopper. We have the Inky Fat at 2.13-inch e-paper display, black and white, so very fast refresh rates for the Raspberry Pi computers, any Raspberry Pi 0 or Pi 3 or Pi 2. We've got 2 ball casters, one 16 millimeter, one 20 millimeter, small and large. Great for your robots, low cost, just bolt it on, and 2 wheels and you're rolling. See me rolling. You got the 400 milliamp hour battery. This is a nice short cable. It fits in your feather sandwiches, right between those feather headers, and you can put a feather wing on top. It fits right in between with a short cable, very tidy and neat for your portable feather projects. Adabox 9, got that in the store, Halloween themed, got the Halloween with all the accoutrements you could possibly need, dozens of projects online, comes with your eyeballs, ready to go. Great gift for Halloween. And then the BMP 388, the next generation precision barometric pressure sensor, even more precise than ever, great for altitude detection, but of course also can do barometric pressure and temperature sensing for basic weather sensing projects.
That's it. Okay, we're going to get some questions after it's not out yet. For the folks who asked, is there an engineer in the chat?
That's me.
But you can't do the show and look at the chat.
Did you see how fast I had to go through those new products?
Yeah.
That was focused.
So save your questions. We're going to go a little bit over tonight because we have a lot of stuff to get through. So let's do some top secret.
Top secret. Get in and out of the vault.
Out of the vault. This is everyone's favorite portion of the show.
Yeah, I know. That's why I can't help
this is stuff that's not out yet. Don't ask questions about this.
Out.
Okay, so this is
LoRa bonnet with OLED. Working.
What is it doing? Oh, it's on.
It's on LoRa Pi Gateway. And this is the LoRa Gateway example, but yeah, we're doing some LoRa experimentation. We decided to add an OLED onto this bonnet.
Okay. What's this, Lady Ada?
Well, you actually asked. You wanted a little speaker with a built-in amplifier that had this little JST connector for portable wearable projects.
Yeah,
you need one for a project, so I designed one for you.
Don't have one. Life is empty. Now it's going to get better.
Okay. It'll fill that void in your soul.
Turns out that's all I need.
Prop maker wing. Look at this beautiful silk screen. I wonder what it looked like in real life. Here you go. You got those PCBs in last week. In this cool case for the Circuit Playground Express. It is super not out yet. Don't even ask.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes to get stuff injection molded? We're going to find out.
And then this, I don't know if I talked about it before, but this is the thing I was working on. It's still kind of in progress, but it's putting books on a Python-powered badge, a CircuitPython badge, and being able to get the book and then being able to use like an IDE inside of whatever you're using and having the code right there. So this is the book that's on the Hall wing, and then you can see it's a PDF on there. The cover shows it, and then we also have some other stuff on there. And then this is Gizmo.
Gizmo, yeah. We had like a ball and a half of wine last night, and we came up with Gizmo, which is a little thing that plugs into your Circuit Playground Express on the back. Gives you a TFT amplified speaker, 2 analog or PWM outputs for servos or sensors or whatever, and you can do like some badges or some like interactive projects, and of course you have the Circuit Playground on the other side that can do all of the sensing and buttons and switches and LEDs. So interesting ideas here, and what's nice is look, the TFT fits right nicely in the center.
Yeah, we have a lot of big ideas that'll fit into the small form factor of Gizmo. Just don't fade it after midnight or get it wet, keep it out of the sun. Okay, so that's top secret.
That's a test. Get back in that vault there. Get back in that there vault.
Okay, so let's answer some questions. Lady Dana?
I can do that.
People who want their questions answered have to go to Discord.
Go to Discord.
Ask
questions now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready.
I'm going to scroll back for some of them. This one, this person, they purchased an assembled feathers with ESP8266 for the tracking project, develop an Azure IoT platform. Can they use any third-party SIM808 boards?
I don't know. I don't
Probably
think so.
not.
Probably not, because actually the Huzzah doesn't have an extra UART.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Someone wants to ask a technical question about the Feather 32.4 LED board. Yeah, post it
yeah,
up in the chat there.
You post it.
This school was in the chat earlier. I don't know if they're still around. They wanted to know stuff about an accelerometer for measuring athletes. So if you could post it up again, because it's like
post it up, because we have like 5,000 Gizmo images.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all you have to say is Gremlins. Okay, any plans for an e-ink, e-paper featherwing? Yeah, sure.
We do, but we aren't sure exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah. Any Adafruit engineers have answered my question? Yeah, she just did.
I am there. I'm here. I'm answering.
Let's see. I did not see. I'm trying to find. Oh, kudos to you, Lady Ada. It was fun to see in the airport. Ink. You were in Ink magazine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's small, but
you're one of the 100 female founders.
Yay! Yes, and I have some wonderful friends there as well.
Okay. So no Adafruit processor will be compatible for SIM 808 with Azure IoT Hub. Well, we don't know, because
Azure IoT, I really have no idea. The SIM 808 definitely works with, we use it with like the Metro and with our feathers, but I don't know. The ESP8266 doesn't have an extra UART, and the SIM 808 needs one.
Okay. Next up, on the back of the CPX, what are the 3 little copper solder pads for?
Those are what we use to program the board. So if you wanted to connect a debugger, for example, you wanted to connect your J-Link or SWD debugger, so you wanted to do some like low-level programming, those are there available for you if you would not want them. But if you don't need them, leave them disconnected, because you could blow away your bootloader and make it really hard to use.
Any chance of getting other Bluetooth modules in or updating the Bluefruits to be able to connect to one Bluefruit to another?
For that, you would probably need, the NRF52 series. I think we have some central peripheral examples. It's tough. Bluetooth is not really designed to connect one to the other. It's meant to connect to like the central. But we'll have the Bluetooth NRF52 840 modules. Like it's not out yet. Don't ask. But we're definitely going to be having some products with the 840 series.
Is there any example projects code for using an optical encoder with CircuitPython for syncing 2 robot wheels?
We do not have any optical encoder examples, but we have Rotary IO, which is a rotary encoder library, and I bet you could use that for your optical encoders.
So I'm pointing out, Grace Hopper, Rear Admiral, lead developer of COBOL, still one of the most used languages worldwide, found a computer bug. It was a moth in Harvard.
Yes. I feel bad. I was like, what was her title? I didn't want to get it wrong. So thank you.
Can we have a Feather M4 with an NRF52 module mentioned? Yeah, we're probably working on that.
The NRF52 is an M4.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably working on that.
But it's not out yet. Don't ask.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions before we move on. I do not see any
Questions?
there.
Any more questions?
Okay, we actually finished right on time.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
zoomed.
help each other out in the chat. If there's more questions, you can also post up in the forums. Last question. Feather M0 work with the SIM 808?
Yes, you can because it's got the extra hardware UART.
Okay. Those questions.
Yeah. This thing with cellular modules, they all use UART. I kind of wish they didn't, but they do.
Okay, Lady Ada, what do you want to give away tonight? We'll do a trivia question.
I thought we'd give away an Adabox.
Really, an Adabox 9?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Okay, maybe you could put the phone underneath
I'm
there.
gonna put the
What are the
phone-
rules for the trivia
Rules are,
contest?
if you've won something before, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. The first person to call the phone number when it appears, and I'm going to pick up the phone. It's going to be this Radio Shack phone. And I'm going to say, ahoy, ahoy, and that's how you know it's me.
Yeah.
And when I say ahoy, ahoy, then you say hello. And I say you reached Ask Engineer, you've won the prize. I'm going to ask you your name, and where you're calling from, and a project you're working on or you want to work on. And once you've answered all those questions successfully on the phone, this phone right here, you will win the prize, which is an Adabox 9. Wow. If you already have an Adabox, you can give it away to someone, or if you haven't, then now you have one, and it's perfect timing. Just don't forget, if you've won before, you can't enter again. Only one winner per my lifetime.
Yeah, I gotta turn on the phone.
We're going to turn off the phone. But get your phone pads ready.
Yeah.
And you have to decode it. This is in letters, but you have to turn this into numbers. But you can do that. There's websites, or you can just look on your phone.
Yeah. That's the
Okay,
phone number.
are you ready? Okay, we're on.
Let's see what's going on.
It's going to ring twice. I'm going to pick it up. Okay,
Oh, that's
one
fast.
time. One ring. Second ring.
Yeah, go for it.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Ahoy,
Ahoy, ahoy. Can you turn down your audio so you don't get the echo? Okay, great. Ahoy, ahoy. Congratulations, you're the winner of a fabulous Adabox. Wow.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. It's for real. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's so unreal.
Anne? Okay, hi, Anne.
Yes.
Where are you calling from?
British Virgin Islands.
From the British Virgin Islands? Wow, that's awesome. Okay, well, congratulations. You're the first caller from the British Virgin Islands, and you've won this Adabox. What's a project you're working on or you want to work on?
I'm working on Melty Skulls from John Park for my fundraiser for Family Support Network here in the British Virgin Islands. So
Awesome.
I'm making some fun, sound reactive Melty Skulls for my my band.
Okay,
that's playing.
sweet. Well, you're going to get even more skulls in this Adabox 9, and of course, please show up on the show and tell when you've got your Melty Skulls done, because we'd love to see them, or whatever you build, and then, then maybe other people can be inspired by your projects. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, SUPPORT, @adafruit.com, and say, hey, it's Anne from the Virgin Islands, and send me my Adabox 9.
British Virgin Islands, not Virgin Islands.
Sorry, British Virgin, sorry. I'm sure that comes up 18 times a day for you. It's a product number 3956. So just tell them 3956 and they'll get that to you shipped right away.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for calling in, Ann, and have a great night, day, whatever
Thank
time it is
you.
where you are. Bye. I don't know geography. Sorry. Okay.
All right, well, that was the trivia question.
I'm assuming the British Virgin Islands are near England, but I actually don't know, and now it's very embarrassing. I have to look it up.
We'll make a cool
We
circuit
should do
board
globe.
that has, like, when you touch the part of the globe, it'll say what it is.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Well, it is night, very early morning in
World
England
board.
right now. Okay.
Okay. So
That's it.
That's the show for tonight.
We finished
I
at
thought
9 to
we were-
5. Not
Yeah,
too
I
bad,
thought we
not
were
too
going to go a
bad.
little even over more, but we were very efficient.
We were so efficient.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. Don't forget the code is barometric. 10% off a Native Fruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please buy something to support us, an open source hardware company that is only around because of y'all.
Yes.
This is how we do it. It's the only reason we're here.
Yes.
Special thanks to everyone in the community, in Discord, everyone who's out there watching on all the channels, all of our Adafruit remote team members, all the Adafruit team members here in New York City, and everyone who's helping other people out and doing good and showing and sharing. And nothing brings people together like making. So make something, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Good night, and see you next week.
Here is your moment of Zener.
Bye.